Prepare for a family comedy that slices straight through art world pretenses. Steven Soderbergh's The Christophers draws you into a nest of greed, deceit, and emotional reckoning, where everyone wants a piece of the inheritance. But here's where it gets controversial. Does any of them actually deserve it? Let's face it, when legendary painters approach the final stages of their careers and lives, it's not uncommon to see relatives hovering, eager to milk every last drop of value from anything the artist touches. Some heirs even go so far as to coach frail hands into producing those final signature squiggles, desperate for another marketable doodle. And when another artwork gets donated instead of sold, that sting is real. But here's the twist most people miss. Soderbergh's film isn't just a tasty satire about cash-chasing offspring. It's a witty, often biting portrayal of legacy, forgeries, and family feuds, packing in both heart and razor-edged comedy. Penned by Ed Solomon, Soderbergh's frequent collaborator, remember the unpredictable no sudden move and boundary-testing projects like Mosaic and Full Circle? The Christophers feels like a masterclass in dialogue. Essentially a two-character showdown with a dramatic energy that wouldn't be out of place on stage. The electric chemistry between Michaela Coel and Ian McKellen, as two polar opposites stumbling toward uneasy understanding, sets the film ablaze. Here are the essential details. Making its debut at the Toronto International Film Festival, the cast includes not just Coel and McKellen, but Jessica Gunning and James Corden, with Soderbergh at the helm and Solomon providing the script. Clocking in at 99 minutes, this film is a brisk, engrossing ride. Let's set the scene. McKellen's Julian Sklar is a washed-up, once-renowned painter, living in a shabby but once grand townhouse in an exclusive London neighborhood. The home is in disarray, every surface drowning in dusty relics, half-forgotten canvases, and stacks of paper. A round of applause for the set designer, Antonia Lowe, for nailing the atmosphere. Julian's reputation has faded, but ironically, his star flickered back to life after his days of painting, thanks to a stint as a caustic judge on the trashy but popular TV show Art Fight. Audiences loved his savage takedowns of amateur works, earning him a new kind of infamy. Now, Julian's carved out a meager living online, making snide videos for fans, and, in symbolic rebellion, selling his paintings at dirt-cheap prices during his infamous sidewalk salon. This act of defiance against the money-driven art world made headlines, cementing his new place as both a curmudgeon and reluctant celebrity. But, and this will raise eyebrows, his true masterpieces were two series known as the Christophers, named after a figure who loomed large in Julian's past, someone he remembers with genuine sorrow, a marked contrast to the contempt he heaps on his two adult children, Barnaby, James Corden, whom he dismisses as a buzzard, and Sally, Jessica Gunning, likened to a hyena. Rumors swirl in elite collector circles. An unfinished third series of the Christophers might be hidden away, waiting to make someone a fortune if only it were finished and sold. Barnaby and Sally, depicted as conniving and cash-hungry, are desperate to find and capitalize on these works. They've already frittered away the riches from previous sales. Enter Laurie Butler, Michaela Coel, an old acquaintance of Sally's from art school. A school, Julian snonks, Sally only got into thanks to family strings. Laurie, now running a food truck after her restoration business collapsed, is remembered for her unnerving skill at replicating other artists' styles. Citing the thin line between art restoration and outright forgery, the siblings rope her into a bold scheme. She'll pose as Julian's assistant, worm her way into his trust, and gain access to the secreted canvases. The plan? She finishes the series in Julian's style, stashes the new works, and sends them. And together they'll cash in after the old man's gone, Laurie scoring a third of the payday. They dangle revenge too, reminding Laurie of her fraught history with Julian. So far, so deliciously scandalous. Soderbergh, doubling as cinematographer and editor, relaxes into a spry, improvisational, handheld style, allowing the sharp interplay between characters to shine. Few directors would dare release 3 distinct features in 12 months. but Soderbergh thrives on creative risk. From the instant Laurie nervously crosses into Julian's chaotic realm, it's clear their battles will be unforgettable. Julian, in trademark tartness, barely lets Laurie speak during their first meeting, but Laurie manages to confirm that the mysterious canvases are still hidden away, locked on the third floor. The fun really begins as the deception spirals. Secrets leak, allegiances shift, and double crosses multiply. Sally and Barnaby, played to comic perfection by Gunning and Corden, come off like bumbling villains from a children's book, endlessly scheming, yet never quite on top. The sly commentary here, can greed ever be justified by bad parenting, is sure to spark debate. But the heart of the film is the evolving relationship between Julian and Laurie. They're neither partners in crime nor outright foes, but two wounded souls who recognize each other's pains, even as they circle warily. Coel's restrained performance hides Laurie's emotions behind a mask of deadpan wit and guarded posture, while McKellen wields sarcasm like a saber, only to reveal vulnerability in stunning flashes. One particularly hilarious scene has Julian boasting about his internet detective skills, declaring, "Never underestimate a man who spent decades Googling himself." His delivery is acerbic perfection, and the generational dig lands hard. In a thought-provoking sequence, Julian confronts Laurie with a scathing review she once wrote about him, mocking his stance on cancel culture. The cause of his downfall is never explicitly detailed. The film wisely lets us fill in the blanks, but makes it clear that Julian has always lived by his own biting, often controversial standards. His contempt for both high art and kitsch, lumping Andy Warhol with dogs playing poker, certainly leaves room for debate. Was he provocateur or just cruel? A revelation. As a child, Laurie was inspired by Julian to make art, only to have him crush her with a few cruelly delivered words years later. In perhaps the film's most emotionally electrifying moment, Laurie dazzles Julian with her detailed analysis of his past masterpieces, reading his evolving technique, and even emotional milestones, like falling in love and coming out as gay, straight from the canvas. The honesty this evokes from Julian, himself played by N.